Hello and welcome to Misscliks D&D Lost Mine. I'm your Dungeon Master, Anna Prosser Robinson, and this is my crew. And we've been here for many years playing Dungeons and Dragons, but this is my first time being the Dungeon Master. And this is the Lost Mine of Phandelver, which is the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition starter set adventure, where we have been learning together, you and me, how to Dungeon Master and making lots of mistakes, but learning from those mistakes and playing with our friends. Speaking of our friends, Neil Gallery Koibu Pass Erickson. Which order do those go in? I don't know. Why don't you tell the people at home who you are and what you play?
I am Neil Gallery Koibu Pass Erickson. I am playing Maverick. His friends call him Renegade. He is the twin brother to Guy Claypool, but he's a little bit more assertive and headstrong, while Guy's a little bit more passive and chill. And that's who I am and what I play. Genevieve Smith.
I completely disagree with your statement about Guy. He has been a terrible person to our crew and has left us in a moment of need, especially my favorite cousin, whose name I never remember. Gundren, I think.
That is his name, yes.
So yeah, I'm Thornton, a dwarf cleric from the hills. I used to be a soldier. But now I have an obsession about cousin saving because my favorite out of hundreds has been kidnapped. And it is now my goal to save him. Trump.
Hey, I'm Trump. I'm playing the halfling rogue Lilo. He's always there for his friends to help him out, and here he's helping out Thoradin. Finally, I think we're near his cousin.
I promise.
And he stabs things. All right, Desdonia, V.
I'm V. Parlofa, and I'm playing the elf named Desdonia. Or I mean, the wizard elf. Okay.
And the party has, they've kind of found themselves swept up in this whole fervor for the Wave Echo Cave. The reason for that is that Thoradin is someone typing? If they can mute while they do that, that would be awesome. Thoradin had Gundren, their favorite cousin, apprehended by this villain they think called the Black Spider. But they tracked him down to this place, Cragmaw Castle, which is kind of a goblin stronghold. And they've been marauding their way through this goblin stronghold, mowing down goblins and hobgoblins left and right, but still have yet to find where that cousin Gundren may be being held captive. The reason he was being held captive is because he had a map to the Wave Echo Cave, a magical place of riches and magic and wonder that everyone wants to know where it is, and he apparently does. So you guys are hoping that you can find him alive and hopefully preserve the location of that Wave Echo Cave as well. A lot of people are interested in it. You find yourselves right now in Cragmaw Castle, which is a decrepit castle that once was grand in its heyday, but now is just falling apart at the seams. It's being barely held up by beams and posts here and there. And there were goblin guards and hobgoblins posted up at all of the kind of watchtowers around the castle, but you've done a pretty good job so far of making a huge mess of them, and you find that the castle now is just littered with goblin bodies. And as you step over them and kind of look around the room, you ask yourself, what's next?
Well, I don't think we've finished searching every nook and cranny in this place. What do you guys say we take a nice long rest and then search the rest of this place?
I definitely agree with that. I really need some rest for these spells in my hands right now.
Right, yeah. I could use a rest. I look to Thoradin.
I agree. Do we want to pull up here, or shall we vacate and come back?
I mean, this place has beds.
Fine, I'm tired of fighting. I like stand down, put my things on the ground. I'll sleep here.
All right. We should probably take watches. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
I'm gonna look inside this room with the beds and the broken wall to the northwest. Is that something we could leap out of if we had to? The rocks up there?
No,
Okay.
it's just kind of a symbol of the walls being a lot of rubble, but it's not an open. You can't like enter or exit there.
All right. You know, I hate being trapped in a corner like this, but if you think it's a good idea, then let's pull up here.
Cool. I'm glad you said that. Thanks, Thoradin, and I just fall over and pass out immediately.
All right, sounds like Maverick volunteers for last
I
watch.
fall asleep.
I'll take the first one.
Oh, okay. I'll do the second one.
I take the third.
All right. And you guys decide to take a long rest?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And who's taking the first watch?
I am. And
All right,
I'm gonna take a short rest during my first watch.
Okay. And so you're kind of standing outside this room, is that right?
Yep. I'll be in the room I'm in right now with the barrels and stuff.
And I'm assuming, Desdonia, you are also in the room with the beds? Should I move your token?
I will move it.
Okay.
I'll move one of those barrels in front of each door.
Oh, okay. You're blockading, kind of?
Yeah, very light blockade.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think if the doors... I guess the doors open inward. So yeah, that would probably block someone from easily opening the door. I think, well, tell me about your short rest. What do you want to do? You want to recover some hit points?
Yeah. So Lilo is badly wounded at the moment. He's going to sit on one of those crates and wrap some cloth around his wounds while he stares at the two doors and listens out.
Okay. Roll a perception check.
All right, perception. Woohoo.
Oh, 16. So I would say at about like the midpoint of your watch, you know, you're kind of standing there trying to stay awake, maybe like, you know, arms folded, kind of squinting into the hallway. And at one point you hear what sounds kind of like a dog sniffing around the door. And you maybe even see the door kind of get like tested just a tiny bit. Not, you know, no one's trying to push it down or anything, but you hear kind of a sniffing around the door and that goes away. And then a little bit later, you hear a similar thing around the other door. But again, no one tries to come in. You just hear kind of a bit of investigation.
Okay. Disturbing, but expected.
Okay. All right. The rest of your watch passes without any incident. And as you guys take turns watching, nobody else hears anything to disturb you.
Okay. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen.
Hello. Do you feel better?
So much better. You have no idea what a good... I guess you do know exactly what a good night's sleep will do to you. It'll solve pretty much all of your problems.
Except one.
Missing cousins?
Yeah, I'm such a broken record by now. But somehow I can't move past it. It's a family member.
One of many. Hundreds, is it?
Yes. But it's the fate. Yeah.
I'm a little afraid to ask, but how are your other cousins doing?
You know, here and there, working hard, probably in the hills. It's kind of what we tend to do. Kind of keep to themselves. Quiet.
So none of the other ones are like in trouble anywhere.
Well, I mean, there's like just one but he's kind of the outcast of the family, and he's always looking for trouble. He has a really dark beard, and he likes to shave it once in a while, and that's like a no-go. You can't shave your beard. That's like, you can't do that.
Cool. So we don't have to worry about any other rescue missions after this one.
Well, not for that cousin, that's for sure. If something, he would be kidnapping someone else from the family.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Don't worry about it. The only rescue mission I'll drag you in.
Thank you. So, where is your cousin? I know you've got this like magical sense that keeps drawing you towards him. You wanna poke around and find him?
Well, as far as I know, he's not here, right? Is he?
Oh, absolutely he's here. He's in the southeast part of this castle.
Well, why did we bother exploring the northwest part if you knew he was in the southeast? What? Oh my god, let's just go. Can't believe you.
Kind of a waste of time.
Yeah. Why would we go that way?
What? If we go all the way to the southeast, we get surrounded by goblins.
We
You know how it
started
is.
in the southeast.
Right.
Maybe they would have been warned, so we would have got killed. Who knows?
So even though he's probably in the southeast, we should probably open this door. Make sure there's no goblin guards.
Let's be careful about door opening now, shall we?
Lila, you want to do it all sneaky?
I put my hand on his shoulder and I'm like, when opening a door, it's very important to not do the creaky noise, because that's when people know you're coming.
Well, you know what? I think it would be best if someone else opened the door and I got ready to stab somebody.
I look at Thoradin with the high AC.
When he says that, I'm just like standing back there, like looking to like who's gonna open the door.
Thoradin.
Oh.
You're a much smaller target for the enemy. It makes it a lot harder for them to hit you, you know.
Okay, I'll do it.
That's true. Some of us are very squishy.
All right, I'll do it. No worries, I got this. I'm known for my stealthiness with my chainmail armor.
Yep.
Not really trying to be stealthy. Just open that door, I say, with my swords at the ready.
Right. I remember your technique.
Which door exactly is it that you're trying to get Thoradin to open?
Oh no, we're preparing for a door opening.
For any door.
I think this is the one that we want to do, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So when I open the door, for the first one, I'll just knock and move out of the way.
You just knock?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll do
So
a weird voice. I'll be like, "We're here."
so
And I move out.
you guys have had this experience where you slept in this barracks with 2 dead hobgoblins, and their dead brethren were outside of there, and you're picking your way over these other dead goblins as you walk down this hallway, and the castle is it feels a little strange in here. It's starting to smell. The scent of unwashed dead bodies is kind of emanating. You guys have there's like a kind of a bloody, gory, stinky, deathy, rotty smell going on.
I
now.
didn't organize them though, no? I think
Organizing dead bodies unfortunately doesn't do anything to change the smell of them, you find.
Yeah, you said it was gory, but it's kind of like organized gore. It's probably even worse.
I mean, yeah, you concentrated the smell of the gore in certain piles, yes. But the sense you get when you kind of emerge from this room where you stayed into this castle is it feels very, like the hair on the back of your neck kind of starts to stand up. It's too quiet and it's too death-filled. And as you kind of pick your way down this hallway, all of you have this sense of like impending danger. So as Thoradin knocks on that door and says, "We're here," there is silence only to greet you.
Sounds like it's fine, Thoradin.
All right. Then I take the door, turn it, and bust it open, but I don't go through it. And then I kind of just peek like this.
So Thoradin flings the door open with at the ready. Ah! and looks in and sees absolutely nothing but a few dirty beds.
I like slowly move my front foot and I like tap the ground and I'm like,
I check under the beds.
seems safe. We can go in. I'm slowly walking.
Desdonia, you find a couple chicken bones and like some boogers that one of the goblins was wiping on the mattress.
I'm grossed out. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. It also smells really bad.
When she looks grossed out at this, I like pull my nose, my finger out of my nose. I'm like, oh, he's one of those people.
And then I give a look over at Thornton and I'm like, and then I look back to the bed.
What, you eat them? Like, what do you do with them?
Blow them in a tissue, of course.
Who has time for tissues? Like, are you carrying any with you? Let me see your
I pull out a
character.
tissue.
Let me see your character sheet, huh? Where's the tissue?
My character sheet says leaves as tissue.
Sure.
Okay, well, onward to the impending ambush.
Come on, guys. It's a beautifully creepy, quiet day.
All right, let's keep moving.
Is this one open, Anna?
Which one? Sorry.
This door?
Yes.
Okay.
You can make your way back into where you remember this was kind of a banquet hall, or it used to be a banquet hall and now it has become kind of a dirty mess hall for goblins. The fire in the brazier has kind of petered out. As you remember, you seemed to murder the goblin that was responsible for feeding everyone, so his fat little goblin body is also bloated and rotting outside the door on the other side as you walk by.
Okay, I look around in this room. What are the exits? Is there more than one?
So you see that there's a door right here, against which is leaning the dead body of a hobgoblin that you killed. There's also a curtain kind of loosely strung across the hallway up here. And then there's a door here, which you remember goes back to kind of the shrine where you saw the Glick monster and all of the kind of ceremonial implements and the sacrificial altar that the goblins were using.
I didn't see a single one of those clicks, but I assume the curtain is this one?
Yeah.
Okay, and the door is that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Curtain first?
All right. I head towards the curtain.
All
And
right.
I poke it with a stick.
The curtain flaps harmlessly.
All right, no danger here. And I flip it open.
All right. When you flip that open, you see another room littered with rubble, as usual. The tower has almost completely collapsed, although the ground floor still has a little open space. Rotting crates and ancient barrels show that provisions were once stored here. A heavy curtain blocks a crumbling area to the south, and an intact door leads east. To the north, a short passage through the rubble ends before a screen of canvas.
No, an opening. I guess my cousin's not there. We should probably head to this door here.
I look through the room. Is there anything left here at all?
There's some, rotting casks of things. If you looked hard through it, you may be able to find like some edible food, but it doesn't seem to you like this is a treasure hoard. This is more of a place where they might have kept food stores.
Okay.
So the north is just an exit to the outside, right?
Why don't you roll me a perception check?
Sure. Perception.
You're not really positive looking at it, but it seems to make sense to you that this could be used as an entrance or an exit. Like, you haven't really investigated it, but it looks like if you needed to, you could run through there.
Am I missing something? Is it not just the outside?
It's just like very it's blending in with the rubble. Like if you want to take time to investigate it, yeah, you can just like determine exactly how it looks.
Okay, I am going to attempt to go outside. Is there a path?
You know, as you work on it, you kind of have to like throw some rocks out of the way. Maybe you ask for Thoradin's help and he helps move some out of the way. And it looks like, yeah, there's been a big attempt to hide this entrance, but this is a very easy way to get in and out of the castle as long as you clear a little bit of this rubble.
Aha. This is where they went in and out.
As you're doing that, you hear a slamming noise and a commotion coming from the south.
Oh my! Did you hear that?
I'll notch an arrow in my drawn bow and start poking around.
When you say poking around, what do you mean?
Heading south, looking I'm looking in the direction of this tower, down in the bottom right tower. That's where
You hear what sound like some goblin screams and some furniture flying, maybe hitting a wall. You hear a crash.
Guys.
And you hear quite a commotion coming from like down in here somewhere.
Guys.
What?
Something over here.
I'll go investigate it.
As you are kind of looking down toward the south and investigating the noise, through the door right behind Thoradin crashes a giant angry owlbear.
Oh shit.
And as it blows the door open, Thoradin, make me a dexterity saving throw.
This is not my biggest strength. Oh, 17.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Good. I rolled an 18.
Yeah, you're able to, as the door, swings open with brute force and the owlbear lunges through, you're able to avoid the door smacking you and you falling prone. Although the owlbear does surprise you, and as it goes by, it manages to make a swipe at you with one of its claws.
Uh-oh.
And it rolls an 18, which I believe hits you.
My armor class is 18, actually. So I think
Oh.
18 hits 18.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's always been that way.
It's a close call, and Thoradin almost gets out of the way, but the claws just rake across your shoulder, and you see red lines spread across as the owlbear claws just brutally rake you for 15 slashing damage.
Whoa!
15.
Mm-hmm. It is seeming to want everyone out of its way. Everyone roll for initiative. Yeah, about that. Be sure to select your token first. All right. Has everyone rolled? No, we're waiting. Desdonia.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to keep something up while also opening the initiative. Try and hold one of my spells open. Not enough room in here. Okay. I rolled it.
Okay. If I am not mistaken, we will see Maverick taking the first action. Maverick, what do you do?
Shoot it with my bow.
Okay.
Yeah, no questions asked. This is not a friendly critter. So I will just take a simple, everyday, ordinary shot with my bow. Boo! 19 to hit.
All right, 19 definitely hits the owl. It sticks in the owlbear's shoulder and it roars with anger and malice. And you do 7 piercing damage to it.
Yeah.
It seems, as you see that happen and you do that 7 damage, it looks to you like you only made it matter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm done. I guess Maverick hesitates. He's about to do something, but takes his time to think about it, so I'm done.
Okay. Thoradin.
So since it's called owl bear, I would expect it to be an animal.
I believe an owlbear actually is
It's not
a.
an animal, it's a monster.
I believe I have tried to speak to an owlbear before, and been told that it is technically a monstrosity and not an animal.
How
Maybe
would they
Kat
make
can help
this-
us with this.
Yeah. How would
So-
they make an owl bear not an animal? It's like animal plus animal.
I know, but I think that the idea is that it's unnatural. It's like barely meant to exist. You know what I mean? And this is again, this is Misscliks D&D Lost Mine. So this is where we're all learning a little bit. So chat sometimes helps us. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that owlbears do not count as animals. And chat, anyone is welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, you kind of reach out with your feelings, Thoradin, toward this thing that you think is an animal, and
I guess
it kind of repels your senses.
I guess it's not an animal. So I will. Yes, that was my plan. I'm gonna cast 8. Actually, am I too? Do I need to get out to cast because he's like in range with me, right?
Do you need to get out to?
Like, do I
Oh.
need to move away?
You are in melee with the owlbear.
So I can't cast.
I mean, it depends on what you're casting, I suppose.
I don't know. Can I cast 8 if he's next to me?
Are you trying to cast? Who are you trying to cast aid on?
All of us.
Yeah,
It's like
you
a
could do that.
ghost spell. Up to 3 creatures within range. Alright.
I don't see why you couldn't do that.
Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna cast aid on all of us.
And what effect does aid have? Let's see. You're bolstered with toughness and resolve. All of your the people who are hit, their hit point maximum and current hit points increase by 5 for the duration, which is 8 hours.
Okay.
So-
That, if it's 3, who are you leaving out?
I think since V's character tends to be in the back, this Donia, I would exclude this Donia for this time because I just got hit, so I think I should aid myself. Kind of like in the plane, right?
Okay.
All right, so we all get +5.
All right. And that concludes your turn, right, Thoradin?
Yep.
All right, Lilo, your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna rush right in there to the rescue of my friends and stab into that owlbear with my swords.
Okay.
There are my 2 attacks. 8 and 10.
Unfortunately, for whatever reason, you're trying to go for this owlbear, and it's kind of thrashing around with rage, and you can't seem to connect with either of your swords.
Ah, that's. It's
Yeah,
hard.
you
It's
find
too tough.
You find yourself staring at the angry beak of an owlbear and not being able to do much at all to combat it. Donia, what do you do?
I immediately see this crazy thing, monstrosity in front of me, and I'm like, all right, for sure, scorching ray, and I shoot out at it.
Okay.
Just to make sure.
First ray.
Anna, I'll ask you. Would you say that this owlbear is in melee range of this Donia?
I don't have to be in melee range of scorching ray, do I?
You get a disadvantage on ranged attacks if you are in melee.
I mean, I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
don't think
far
you meant
from-
to really move melee, right?
No, I'm not in melee, am I?
No, I'm gonna say you're not. Although, like grid-wise, it looks like you are. I'm gonna say you're still.
Yeah, I thought it was a little farther, although I don't know. Does the owl beast take up those 4 spots?
Yeah, it's a giant creature.
Oh,
But
okay,
I'm
then
gonna
I
say
would-
I'm gonna say just because of the way that this all happened and went down, you could kind of take one step back and be out of melee.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I
nice
throw
of-
my first I throw my first ray. I'm assuming misses.
Mm-hmm.
It catches in the blinds.
I try again with my other hand, which seems to be working better than my right hand.
Yeah, so one of your hands kind of goes like, and the scorching just kind of dribbles out like a faucet that needs fixing. But the other one, you're like, scorching ray shoots out, connects with the owlbear, and tell us about the effect of that on the owlbear. What does it look like?
It definitely singes some of its. Well, I guess, does it have feathers?
Feathery fur, yeah.
Yeah, feathery fur.
You,
so it starts singeing at it.
Yeah, you see a giant swath of those feathers kind of ignite and glow with, as they kind of sizzle and burn, and the owlbear roars. Seems very, very angry, but again, doesn't seem too much the worse for wear. You get the sense that this owlbear's hide is pretty tough. Seems like it can take a lot of damage.
I shoot my last scorching ray.
Ooh, this one as well for 4 more damage, so a total of 12. And you do feel like, the owlbear is starting to get a lesser sense of being the most powerful thing in the room. You feel pretty satisfied with yourself.
I growl at it really loud.
Whoa.
Just like
the owlbear goes, "Wah." It looks at you very confused. The next up is the owlbear. So actually, Desdonia, will you roll me an intimidation check, please?
Okay.
Okay. So Desdonia growls at the owlbear. The owlbear kind of cocks one owlbear eyebrow at you and charges directly at you.
Oh no! I didn't even aim you. I thought you would be out of range.
Great. Death of V today.
Wait, do I get an attack of opportunity?
Yes, you would.
Ha!
Go ahead and make it.
So with my mighty warhammer, 16.
That does connect. You do 5 bludgeoning damage to the owlbear as it streaks by, and it screams in bird-like and owl and bear-like rage. Isn't that a great description?
Get one too?
Really. Yes. Lilo, go ahead and take your attack of opportunity as well.
Please kill it before it gets to me.
I'd like to see where it ends up. It might not end up moving too far away from me.
It's gonna be like here.
It does. It really only takes like this much of a step. So it is.
I don't think I should get one then, unless you're saying I should.
Yeah, that's true actually, because you don't stay in melee, or you stay in melee range. So that makes sense. So yeah, you don't get one. Thank you. All right, Desdonia. It comes right at you, beak open, and pecks at you with that giant beak for a 9, which I don't believe hits you. Right?
Then I guess I'll put
My armor class is higher than that, yeah.
Yeah. So it was probably distracted by Thoradin and his warhammer, but it now plants its feet and takes a swipe at you with its claws. Ooh, for a 21, which does definitely hit you. And it does 12 slashing damage. So you see it just kind of rips the side of your dress up, and you see lines of blood kind of start to spread across the silvery fabric. How are you feeling after 12 points of damage?
I fall to my knee. I just feel ill.
The owlbear.
Down, right?
No, she's not down. The owlbear, though, is standing over her menacingly and looking like it really has no intention of leaving her alone. Maverick, what do you do now?
I will drop my bow, use my action to put on my shield, and then put myself in between Desdonia and the owlbear, because I don't think she can take another hit like that. And I've got the aid spell from the dwarf going on, so that's what I do.
All right. So you just place yourself between her and the owlbear?
Yeah, it takes a full action to put on my shield, unfortunately.
Ah, gotcha.
I know, it's very frustrating. I hate it.
Okay, cool. As that happens, No, Thoradin, it's your turn.
So I'm gonna hit him with the Warhammer again in the back. I don't know if that gives me advantage or something.
No.
Alright, I tried. With a 12? And I looked at the 25 and up the 24 and I'm a bit sad.
You hit him with that 12 and the owlbear actually is thrashing around so much that it just kind of kicks your hammer harmlessly out of the way and you don't do any damage.
And as a bonus action, I will use Healing Word on Zizdonia.
All right.
For 5 healing.
What is that healing word? What does it sound like, Thoradin?
It's just me going, Destonia, 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 Destonia.
Wow, Desdonia, you feel as this fanfare of your name is shouted from behind the owlbear, just something inside you wells up and you feel a little smidge better.
Oh, thank you.
All right. As Thoradin, you are shouting Desdonia triumphantly, 2 goblins burst through the door.
Oh.
And they have their scimitars raised, and since you are standing right next to the door, they both take swipes at you with their scimitars. The first one does not hit with a 10. The second one connects with you brutally with a 22 and does 4 slashing damage. They seem to be flanking the owlbear, but as you see them eye it warily, you don't think that they have any faith or control over this beast. Next up would be Lilo.
Okay. Are there any more goblins in that room that just opened up?
I don't know.
I look through the door real quick, if there's anything I can see.
You can't see into the room from where you are. There's too many owlbear butts and goblins in the way.
Okay, well, I'll just have to clear a path then. I'll attack this goblin that just came out with my first attack.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Let me see. That goblin.
It was a short life, my friend.
Yeah, where is this? Why is it not showing? Yeah. With a 22, you just kind of like unceremoniously slice the head off that goblin.
And then I step right on top of it, and then I use my other one, intending to sneak attack it to death if that 13 hits.
The 13 unfortunately does not hit. The goblin kind of shimmies out of the way. Its leather armor deflects the bow, and you don't do any damage to it.
Oh, too bad.
And I'm trying to select this goblin under you and make it dead, but it's not going anywhere. Why is it not letting me dead it? All right, well, we're putting it outside then. What is happening? All right, there. Oh no. Come on, roll 20. Well, as I get back into the game, I believe the next thing was, let's see, Desdonia's turn.
What do you do?
Desdonia, your turn.
Yeah, no, I was saying, I said, hold on. Was
okay.
Like thinking, sorry.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking of burning hands, but I had a question first. Each creature in a 15-foot cone must make a dexterity saving throw. So is it, in the 15-foot cone, is it just enemies, or if it's anybody in that cone?
That would be anybody.
Okay, so with it being under me, would I be able to back away from it and then shoot it? Because it's kind of against the wall, so could I do that? Burning hands against the wall?
Now that you are in melee with it because it was attacking you, you would provoke an attack of opportunity if you stepped back.
Okay.
But you could do that.
Okay. No, that's okay. Is the owlbear wearing any armor?
Nope. It just seems to have a pretty thick natural hide.
Okay. All right. In that case, I'm going to cast. Oh wait, I have 2. Well, I guess if I am in, never mind. I guess I can't do that. I was gonna do Scorching Ray again, but then if I back up, they get a attack of opportunity. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna do Ray of Frost. I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Oh, it's at disadvantage.
It is at disadvantage too?
Yep, you're in melee range and you're trying to use a
What?
ranged attack.
Okay, never mind. I'm gonna do Shocking Grasp then.
All right. You grab the owlbear's
By
snapping.
his legs. Oh.
Okay, by his legs.
No, I like what you said. Go ahead.
So the owlbear is snapping at you with its beak, and you grab its jowls and you put everything you have into this jolt of electricity. Roll for it. Ooh. The owlbear's face is crisscrossed with lightning energy, and you see like flashes of its skeleton, like Little Mermaid with Ursula. And then you see that the lightning significantly damages the beast as it recoils.
And it's also now slowed too, right?
I think it has no reaction. So we can like disengage.
Oh, I can disengage. So does that mean I can back away now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I back away.
Very nicely done. Shocking Grasp. Yeah, and it can't take reactions till the start of its next turn. So anyone trying to disengage from the owlbear is going to be safe from attacks of opportunity until its next turn. Unfortunately, the owlbear's next turn is right now.
We can actually run, could we?
You could. What? Yeah. Do you want to? You did step backward. Now you still have some movement left. So is there anything else you wanted to do with that movement?
I back away. I think even more. That's all.
Okay.
That's it for now.
Alrighty. The owlbear sees you move away, but Maverick has placed himself in between you and it, and as it looks after you. It seems to want to follow, but Maverick is in the way, so it takes a swipe at Maverick with its claw. Ooh, and it rolls a 24 on its claw.
Don't come at me. No, don't.
Slashes you right across the face. Get a giant owlbear claw scar, which looks pretty cool, but also hurts real bad for 13 slashing damage.
Ow. It hurts.
Once it connects with you, then it also brings that beak to bear on you, but you manage to dodge out of the way and the beak does no damage. Now, you notice as you have been staring toward this door, Lilo, trying to determine whether any more goblins are going to come out of it, you do see another one peek its head out of the door. And it knocks a short bow at you, Lilo, and rolls a 17. Does that hit
That's
you?
a hit.
It does 3 piercing damage.
Oof.
Next up will be Maverick, who is now under the claws of an owlbear. What do you do?
I try and shout to Lilo through the owlbear. Lilo, get it! Get it from behind while it's paying attention to me! And I use my commander's strike to have Lilo take an attack action. And
You got it, Maverick. I'll hit it where it's not expecting it. I'm saying as I
Lilo!
down into its backside.
You suck, Lilo!
Yeah, Lilo's sword clatters harmlessly to the ground as it just misses the owlbear's butt.
Oh.
And that's your turn. Thoradin, what do? You are in melee range now with a goblin.
Is there any way you can get in between this goblin and that goblin? Or is that not a thing?
I don't really know how sharing space works on Roll20, but as far as I'm concerned, I guess so, if you really wanted to squeeze your body between the two of them.
I have a dream of closing the door. A crazy dream.
So you want to close the door between the two goblins?
Yeah.
Roll me a dexterity.
Or like, what if What if I just like Warhammer the first one and then close the door? Is that something I can do?
No, because closing the door would be your action. So you could roll me a dexterity check at disadvantage to close the door, or you could make an attack.
To close the door?
Mm-hmm. You can make an attack on the goblin, just flat out. Or if you want to close the door, you can use your action to roll a dexterity check.
Oh. I guess I'll just attack the first goblin.
I'm sorry that your dream is dead.
Unlike me. So yeah, I guess I'll Warhammer. 17.
Ooh. You literally just smash the goblin, like from top to bottom. You just hit its head and it just telescopes into a bloody mess on the ground.
I want to step on top of it and block the door physically.
Okay, so you're just blocking the view of the goblin
Yeah, and I look at it and I say, I'm gonna close this door soon. I advise you to walk back.
All right, roll me also an intimidation check.
Thoradin. 10.
The goblin just kind of looks at you like, I guess, but it doesn't leave. It just doesn't you're not sure if it believes you or not.
Yeah. I'm still gonna use a bonus action to do healing word on Maverick.
Okay.
Oh, well, actually I'm gonna do shield of fate on Maverick.
That's a bonus action?
Yeah, also.
Huh.
So
Okay.
it adds 2 AC to his AC. I kind of
Nice.
prefer that than health. I think it's better.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Next up is the goblin Thoradin that you tried to intimidate, and it kind of like looks at you for a second when you say you're gonna shut the door, and it kind of evaluates you, and then it pulls out its scimitar and goes, "Mah," and just stabs you through the door. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, it rolls a 22, so it just kind of like stabs you right in the butt as you're standing there like, I'm gonna close this door, and it does 4 slashing damage to you.
Amen.
Next up will be Lilo.
Okay, well, seeing that this owlbear is clearly the threat, I'm going to strike its backside again. I got one of the attacks in this time. And
Go
I
ahead.
hit it where it's not expecting.
You stab it right in the butt with that 22, so you do that 5 piercing as well as the 7 for the sneak attack. And that brings the owlbear to math. Okay. You see that the owlbear is starting to kind of slow down. It's starting to, the roars that were angry are starting to be a little bit more mournful. Desdonia, your turn.
I growl again, and then I do Scorching Ray again.
Let's see. I just am really curious when Desdonia growls, what it like, how intimidating it is, because before she was like "Rawr," and it did like nothing. So roll me. I want an intimidation check again, just to know how her growl looks.
Let me see if I can represent the growl. So let me do it let me roll first. Persuasion, right?
Intimidation.
Oh, intimidation. That's what I meant.
There's a little part of me that kind of wanted to go back because it's funnier.
I don't see Desdonia as much of a threatening growler, so I just want to see if she's filled with.
And then I choke as I'm doing the growl.
Okay, well she tried. Yeah, that it is the most like she kind of goes and you just kind of wonder if she got
and I cough instead, and then I shoot out my Scorching Rays.
It's okay, you got your bad roll out of the way. She's not about intimidation.
I know, right?
She's more about this.
So she was so embarrassed by how unintimidating this roll or this growl was that the Scorching Ray actually just kind of like, again, wells up in her hand, but just kind of dribbles out and does no damage, unfortunately. You have a couple more of those rays, right?
Yeah. I shoot that first one, but then I go with my second one. I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
I
It's
shoot
your
out.
good hand. It's your good hand.
Yeah, my
Okay.
good hand.
That one does connect, and you do 5 points of damage.
And then my other hand connects as well.
Oh, dang. All right. So 5 and 5. The owlbear is looking well and truly just fearing for its life. It's kind of looking around wildly with wide eyes, like it doesn't know how it got itself into this situation, and it knows that death may be imminent. But it's the owlbear's turn, and so it's going to try just to bowl over Maverick. So it just wants to pass you, like it wants to trample you. So I think that would be like it would be like a shove, right? Like an opposed strength check.
Mm-hmm.
So roll me an opposed strength check with an owlbear.
Okay. 15.
Unfortunately, the owlbear's 19 does more than that. It bowls Maverick over, trampling him underfoot. How would I roll trampling damage?
You don't? It's got soft paws?
Roll me a dexterity check to see if you can roll out of the way of its trampling paws. Yeah, unfortunately, you get smack dab underneath one of those trampling paws or two. Oh man, the dice hate you, Neil. You take 8 damage from trampling. Yeah. I'm sorry, it hurts. It's just in full charge mode, so it's also running past you, Desdonia. Roll me an opposed strength check as it tries to bowl you over as well.
I'll take a opportunity of attack if it's leaving my square, though.
Oh, that's right, it is. Go ahead. And Thoradin, too.
Yes.
Thoradin, do you want to take an attack of opportunity as well?
Yeah, sure. I'll take it.
You both kind of like, it leaves and you're like, oh, hey, into empty space.
I was not ready for this. I thought he would stay.
Desdonia, roll me an
opposed. It's athletics.
You can just click on your strength.
Uh-huh.
Or you could click on athletics. That'll work. I'll take that too.
Strength is fine. My strength is that. So I just click on strength.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the owlbear bowls you over as well. You fall to the ground. Roll me a dexterity saving throw to see if you can avoid its clamoring paws. Ooh, you managed to you fall, but you roll out of the way really quickly, and you roll over onto this hobgoblin body and find yourself covered in gore, but safe. It's pretty.
That's all.
I'll take a slash at it while I'm prone, since it's leaving my threatening square too. Opportunity attack?
I don't know, because it just bowled you over basically, like as its attack.
Okay.
So I don't know if you get an attack of opportunity. So, but what happens though is you see that this owlbear has no interest in being part of this anymore. It breaks down this door and it galumps off into the forest. It has completely left you all behind. Now, this lone goblin standing in the door and has just stabbed Thoradin looks up fearfully at Thoradin and goes, "Mah!" and tries to flee. Thoradin, you want to take an attack of opportunity on this goblin?
Unfortunately, you can't. You've already taken one.
Oh. Well,
that's
then
right.
Can I just close the door? I told you I'd close it.
No, in fact, your threats fall yet again on empty ears because you don't have an action to close the door. And you watch mournfully through the open door as the goblin makes a mockery of your promises and flees.
I will close it someday.
Someday I will close that door. And as Thoradin shakes his fist at the open door, we will take our first break, and we will be back in just a few minutes with the rest of today's episode of Misscliks D&D Lost Minds.